So it was in 2021 in September, I think August, September, somewhere in there. They released a statement on a Friday afternoon to the New York Post. And I think that they thought that all of us creators were going to be like, oh no, but kind of just like go on with our day.
Yeah.
Right.
And not do anything. And I was all, no, motherfucker. Like I've already been in the New York Post a few times by this point
Sure.
for being a teacher. And so I blasted my contacts and I was like, a couple things. If it was true that it was like a financial thing, and as a business owner myself, I would go to my people that I'm supporting who work for me and be like, here's the situation I'm in as the CEO of the company. I'm working on it, but I want you to know the situation that is happening. Yeah. He went straight to the media with this porn ban, which is so generalized. Like, what the hell does that even mean?
Right.
You didn't tell us at all. And so I was like, that's terrible business. Like, you've built an entire platform on our backs, which I'm grateful for, but like terrible business. So then this article came out where I said essentially those things. And then he fired back at me in the New York Post and was like, I'm trying to protect people like Tillia. And I was like, fuck no. Like, if you were actually trying to protect people like me, you would have done things differently and you would have actually done things to protect us.
Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
Too soon.
Hey, just so your knowledge.
Yes.
Our buddy Corey's
Corey, the bastard who won't. Does he still refuse to? Has he seen an episode yet?
He's recording his pee time now.
Recording his pee
timing his pee duration.
How long in between
as he pees.
He's starting a stopwatch when the flow starts.
Yep.
Stopping the flow.
Yep.
Why?
I don't know.
He hasn't explained to you why.
Is
there something medical?
No, him and his buddies do it.
Do we have to worry about him?
He goes, his buddy sent him one that he did 1 minute and 10 seconds. He peed for 1 minute and 10 seconds. And now he's going to try and beat it.
Did you ever hear that skit on the Adam Sandler album, World's Longest Pee? Or there's like a guy standing outside the outhouse and Sandler's in the and it's just, and it stops. And I guess it's like, God damn it, what the? Maybe Corey's trying to perfect that.
It could be him and a couple of his other buddies.
But getting back to it, has Corey bothered to watch an episode yet? I mean, we're 100+ episodes in.
I'm sure he's caught up.
And if anybody knows, if anybody is,
come on, Corey.
If anybody is watching this episode that knows anything about what we're talking about, mention it in the comments because we haven't talked about Corey since probably episode number
it's been 5. The one, yeah. It's been a while. It's been quite a while.
So Corey, if you're watching, I wish you all the luck in the world.
We're rooting him on to beat the 1 minute and 10.
Here's to 1:11, buddy.
Yeah, you go.
71 seconds.
How
long does he go in between peas to try and?
Well, he says once he gets drinking, it's almost like every can he's got to go pee.
Well, you're never gonna fucking last for. First of all, he's this fucking big. So his bladder is like this big.
And that's standing on the table.
So his bladder's like this big. And now he's peeing after every beer.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you he's got a hold. Apparently there's a sweet spot. There's a sweet spot, he said. With waiting too long. And then you just pee so fast it comes out it goes quicker than it should, whereas
it comes out like a fire hydrant instead of a garden hose.
So you got to find that sweet spot. That's just going to pee normal, but a lot without getting to where it's like now it like fire hose. That's your point. Yep.
All right.
So you did talk about the sweet spot.
All right. I think his methods are flawed. I don't think
our conversation about his pee was almost 10 minutes today.
That's good.
Me, Corey, and Mike, we had a peak conversation.
A
pee conversation.
Mike, our merch guy.
Mike guy. Yep. Mike was there.
Shout
I'm pretty sure.
Wisco
Laser Engrave.
Shout out.
From what I could gather,
did you tell him how much
myself? We've never recorded our pee time.
Did you tell him how much we spent with him last year? Went and got the taxes did and found out we spent like $37,000 on merchandise last year.
Well, that's how you could buy another machine.
Whew. Yeah. Anyway, hey, fellow lushes, welcome back
Enough of those guys.
to another episode of Cocktails.
You want to see us
with Dimples and the Beard.
Time RP.
Should we see? How about this? How about?
Should we take the camera in?
No, not the camera.
We won't. Like our face.
How about at the end of this episode, we'll drink.
Okay.
And at the end of this episode, we'll see who can pee longer.
Okay.
And then we'll report back.
Okay. We'll do that today.
We can't report back now because people will be like, what the fuck is this all about? Okay, I'll tell you later. We need to record a little something after this, but I'll tell you later.
A little something.
Yeah. Little something. We got some secret plans in the works.
All kinds of secret plans. That's fine.
Yeah, I know. This is the last episode that we record.
Forever.
Before the first episode of Ask Ashley comes out. Ask Ashley tomorrow. It's a big day tomorrow for our
fucking things. Big things happening. Big things happening.
Who would have thought we'd have a spin-off podcast?
Did you?
We basically just created the Ropers over on another channel.
Well, I hope it doesn't die like the Ropers.
I know they only lasted a season, didn't they?
Like 2 max.
2. Well, so did Three's a Crowd.
3. Yeah, the spin-offs didn't go.
Yeah.
I felt bad for the Ropers. They got the spin-off because they were so popular,
and then
they died, and it's not like they brought them back because they were great on that show.
They were.
So then they just died off.
Yeah, I like the Ropers better than Mr. Furley.
Yeah.
I
think when I was younger, I liked the Furley better just because of
he was just dopey.
His faces and from the Andy Griffin show.
I like that old Mrs. Roper was just a big old horn dog and
would you have banged her?
Yeah. And Mr. Roper was just a grumpy old fuck like me.
Would you have banged him?
No,
just
he didn't deserve it. Much like I don't deserve to get banged because I'm too grumpy.
That's a good point.
So anyway, did I do the welcome back, fellow lushes? We're here for another episode of Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
Of course you did.
Another one. We're
not stopping.
Beautiful
shit coming up. So
woman.
You want to be aboard. So give a like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a good one. Well, it's a bunch of dick weasels, whatever you want. And you can find our page on all social media platforms.
That one legitimately made me laugh.
Wow.
Dick weasels. I sure hope you keep coming up with new ones. That was a good one.
Wow, you're a little teary-eyed there.
Yeah, that was a good one. Dick weasels. I like it. I fully buy into that. I feel like we are a couple of dick weasels.
Yeah, 100%.
We're also preparing. In 48 hours from now, we'll be in Madtown.
Oh,
wow.
So excited.
When you're watching this, it'll have been 3 weeks ago, but we're on our way to Madtown, Madison, Wisconsin, to one of the greatest comedy clubs in the country.
State.
To see Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh, so looking so far. So glad you saw he was coming.
Yeah. The 10 p.m. show.
So he cracks me up. Fucking cracks me up.
Yeah, Jeselnik is a fucking killer, man.
Cannot wait.
He's not for everybody though. That comedy is on a whole nother level, man.
He's demented.
You better be okay with
anything.
Getting a little if you get offended, fuck you, but okay with the possibility of maybe getting slightly offended because he is not afraid to say
anything. Nothing is off limits.
Yeah. And then because we're so goddamn popular and such big news around here.
I laugh at just thinking about seeing him.
It's pretty. I'll save that call. I can put that call in. This is how big we're getting. We just had our local comedy club call and offer us free tickets for this weekend because they want Dimples and the Beard at the show.
Just our presence.
Yeah. So sadly, we had to turn them down, but we thank Skyline. I did reach out to Skyline this week and told them, bring Josh Potter to town. Mm-hmm. God motherfucking Christ, bring Josh Potter to town.
Go get him. Go get that man.
Tommy, I heard Tommy on a podcast. Or on Two Bears was talking about how he wants to do a special for Josh.
Nice.
So yeah, because Bert just did like Shane Torres recorded his special, and Bert and Leanne kind of helped out with it, and of course. So yeah, Tom was saying how he'd like to do one.
That would be fantastic
for Potter. I'm like,
let's make it happen.
We got to get Potter back before he's
too big.
Yeah,
let's make it happen. All right. We never really keep a pretty lady waiting.
So without further ado, Courtney Tillia. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
You guys.
How are yous?
We is doing well.
Good. Very good.
Thank you for joining us, Courtney Tillia.
Thank you for having me.
We share a common acquaintance. We had Sarah Jaree on our podcast a while back, and we know you. You did the episode of Dr. Phil with her, and that we kind of became aware of you then and reached out.
Oh, awesome!
So you are another teacher. You didn't get fired. You decided enough of this bullshit.
I had enough.
I've had enough. Correct.
Yeah, I'm quitting this slave labor pay that they give me and starting where I can make some money. So.
Yeah, I was not fired. I did quit on my own terms. They were aware that I had started posting sexy pictures online.
Sure.
And so they were aware of it. I went by a different name. I went by Courtney Lynn at the time. And actually anything that anybody looked up on the internet while connected to the school's Wi-Fi saved to the school server. So my photos, people were looking at my photos, and so they're all saved to the school server. And my husband was this teacher at the school at the same time, and they were too nervous to talk to me about it. So they called my husband into the office and talked to him about my photos.
So your husband got called down to the principal's office for your photos.
Yes. Yes.
Did he have to serve detention?
He did not.
Or did you?
Nobody did. They were like, well, we kind of want you to like clean that up. And we're asking about like, could the students access it? And my page was private at the time and I went by a different name. And we were kind of like, we're not taking it down and we're not changing. And they were like, okay.
Well, I like that. Just
right.
Don't fold to them and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's nice that, that you didn't get fired like has happened with others. But again, they, the teacher salaries in this country is pathetic.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So let's clarify. You didn't quit because you didn't enjoy your job, correct?
Correct. I really did love the students, but I did find myself like really like the administration's difficult. The kids do become difficult. I worked with severe special needs kids that all were physically aggressive. That couldn't go to a public school. And then obviously the parents and the administration were the things for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it, you're going to heaven for that job to begin with. So that
thank you.
That's not, I mean, sounds like an incredibly difficult job to have to do. And then to have to do it for, again, I hate to keep harping on the point, but again, I don't, because teachers need to make more money.
It's bad. Well, I even went and got a master's degree because I was like, oh, like if this is the career I've chosen, because I was raised like you pick a career and you stick with it for 30 years.
Right.
And so I was like, well, I guess if I'm going to do this, I better get a master's degree. So I did that. And then I was like, well, that gave me like $20 more per paycheck.
Oh my, wait a minute.
And 200,000 in debt.
Yeah. I was like, well, dang, like, I guess I thought it was going to be more. So I was like, I'll go get my PhD. And that's when the principal or the president of the school, she was like, Courtney, we're so proud of you, but we will not be paying you for that. And I was like, so I actually was a year away from graduating and was like applying to other jobs, and nobody would hire me because I was about to be a 30-year-old with a PhD. And so I started taking all my degrees off of my resume because I was like, I can't even get paid with these things. They're like causing me not to get callbacks.
Oh, that's insane.
That's fucked up.
I kept removing, I was like, I'll remove the PhD. And then I was like, that didn't work. I'll remove the master's.
Wow.
So yeah, that's all right.
Oh,
wasn't meant to be.
Well, there you go. And I love the positive attitude. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be.
Sure.
Before we get any further, can we talk about this cocktail?
Because we are drinking yours.
You're drinking it?
Yeah, that's what I said. We like to ask.
Okay, cool. I don't even have it. I got like Gatorade, but
that's all right. Yeah, you're health wise. I mean, you work out, you do all the good stuff. We don't do anything. Yeah. So
it's our hobby.
It's just interesting. I've never
heard of it.
No.
Really?
When did you start drinking it? Where does
Okay. Do you want to know the story? So
yes, please.
It's actually a joke in my household. So my husband will try something. And I'm like, that's disgusting. Like ranch and hot sauce, like I like them, but I was like, they got to be separate, right? Like you got to dip one and then the other. Okay. But he mixed them together. And I was like, no, that's gross. And he's like, just try it. And I was like, so now I do it all the time. He doesn't even do it anymore. And I'm the one doing it. So he's drinking this drink, tequila and Dr. Pepper. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Like I'll stick to my fruity things, my margarita or whatever. And then I tried it and I like gulped it down. I was like, can't even taste the tequila.
It does cover it better than a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I read it, I was like, what the fuck?
I thought it was such a basic thing. Yeah.
No, and we are in the drinking capital of the United States. We're in Wisconsin. Like we drink.
You
And-
drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have
you've
never heard of this.
that.
Nope.
Really?
No. So, but we got a new one. I like it.
Exactly. I'll bring it up.
And that's why we do this. That's why we ask people so that we, because you never know what you're going to get. When we started it, we picked all the cocktails. And then we're like, no, let's let them tell us what they like,
It's so funny because I have another podcast coming up and they're like, what's your drink? And I was like, that's like the common question right now. Like, what's your drink?
Wait, what other? No, never mind.
Wait a minute. Well,
it's a live show, so I think they're having it for me.
Oh,
I think
nice.
The difference, yeah.
Nice. And as long as you mentioned your husband and that he created the drink, mad props to your husband on his fantastic beard. So
isn't it great? I love a beard.
It is, yes. So
he it started with a no shave November, probably like 10 years ago. And yeah.
Well, it's funny.
But he didn't have a beard when you met and fell in love with him, did he?
No.
Yeah, we saw the wedding picture. He looked a lot different.
So do I, though. On the behalf, people are like, so how much plastic surgery have you had? And I was like, to be honest with you, the only thing on my face is my teeth.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm very honest. I'm like, I've had my boobs twice. I had a tummy tuck. Like, I'll be real honest with y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And why not? Who cares?
Right?
So, and then we'll just to touch base and we'll get into you more about your husband when you met him.
Yeah.
Was it the bow tie you fell in love with or what?
And the suspenders.
And the
suspenders. 1000%. That was it. Honestly though, the way that he is with kids, he had 2 children before I came around, but like the way that he was with like the most difficult kids in the state, like physically aggressive. He worked mostly with kids that were fresh out of like juvie.
Oh shit. Wow. Okay. Props to him too.
Right? We both have had concussions from students. He's had to get like tetanus shots from like bites. And so like his patience with the kids, I was like, well, damn, that got me. That was it.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, he looks very dapper.
He did look very dapper.
He looked like a nerd. But he doesn't anymore.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought we'd have to just wanted to tease him a little bit. Tease him a little bit.
Sure.
And can I quick ask, are you in your office? And I was curious about, are you a big Harry Styles fan behind you, or is that one of your children's rooms?
Okay, so this is mine. That's actually me in the New York Post right there.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that's when I fought OnlyFans in the media. So our youngest daughter, she's 20, is a huge Harry Styles fan, but we all go to Harry Styles. I've gone to New York to see him. I've gone to Nashville to see him. I've seen him in LA. And in California.
Okay.
Coachella. So anyway, we're all big Harry Styles fans.
Is there a name for Harry Styles fans? Or are they
stylists? I have no idea.
Stylists, not like Swifties. Yeah.
I have no idea. I just made that up. But both my daughters are into him and seen him twice, and
he's
great. Actually, I thought I was gonna have to go in with him the first time that I took him.
Why do you say I have to? Because like a lot of dads love Harry Styles.
But the point was, I was like, oh, I bet you he puts on a good show. I just enjoy good music and shows. So I started listening to him, and then at the last minute, they're like, no, you don't have to go, Dad. Just drop us off. So I never seen him. But I was not, I say have to.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know, but I even thought about it the second time. I'm like, the co-parent I went with, I was like, should we go? It sounds like they had fun. No, we didn't, but
he puts on a great show, and he loves the dads. He always like comments on the dads like outfits and stuff. Highly recommend.
Okay.
I would go see him because, again, I mean, I love music. I mean, not necessarily my thing, but I think he would put on a fantastic show. And he's a once in a generation kind of talent. Like you're seeing one of these guys that.
Yeah. And the way that he interacts with the audience too. I love when a musician like interacts with the people that come. I love that.
Yeah.
Right. I appreciated what when he was bringing his first album, he talked about his influences, and it wasn't, I mean, we went from Bowie, then he would sing some of Bowie's songs and some Fleetwood Mac songs. So, I mean, he he liked music I liked that influenced him. So that I thought was cool.
Yeah.
All right, can we stop promoting Harry Styles? I think he's doing okay.
He's coming on the show.
I think he's doing fine.
I was just curious on the side. That's all.
Yeah.
So you quit your job and sign up for an OnlyFans right away, thinking, all right, I now have zero income. It's not much less than I was making, but
I wish it worked like that. So I quit teaching. And then my husband was like, if you could do anything all day, what would it be? Because I was like in a really bad place mentally, while I was still teaching. And we were living off of just my one teacher income at the time because my husband had started his own business as a life coach. And I was like, I guess I would go to the gym. I have no idea even what I like. And so he was like, great, resign, go work out at the gym, go train people, whatever. And so that's what I did. And notice that like more of the fitness industry is impacted by like your mental space.
yeah.
And so I started working on people's mindset and stuff along with my coaching, and realized I didn't really like doing fitness for other people. I liked it more for myself. At the same time, I had started modeling and kind of doing like fitness modeling. And then my first ever professional photo shoot, I did a nude shoot, and I was like, I love this. So anyway, I would post sexy pictures on Instagram, but Instagram's community guidelines have continued to get stricter and stricter.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the most annoying thing ever. And then I started seeing people posting about OnlyFans. And so I joined in 2019.
Okay.
And I was like, it'd be cool if I can make like $500 a month, and I can like make a little side money by posting photos that I've already taken, and it has blown up.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you're doing well.
Yeah.
So going back to your first modeling gig, a nude right away? How was that?
Nude right away. I felt really safe and comfortable, and he was just like, are you comfortable with that? And I was like, yeah, I want to try it. And I was like, I felt so confident and so good that I was like, this is the greatest.
This is where the path
awesome.
I want.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I had started selling content privately over Instagram and Snapchat.
Sure.
I never promoted it, but people would ask, and people were like, I'll pay you several $100s for like a, 3-minute video. And as a teacher at the time, I'm like, that's my weekly that's my weekly pay for 3 minutes of my time. There's a part of me, because I grew up religious, that was like, this is kind of wrong. But I was like, I got to feed the kids.
But what is wrong?
I know. I've worked through that, because there was a part of me that was like, oh, maybe I should feel shame. And I was like, but why? Like, why should I? I don't believe that we should. I actually believe that we were created to experience pleasure and share it with the world. So yeah,
absolutely. And it was all your own consent. Yeah. So what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what people shame OnlyFans. But I was like, I learned more about running a business from running an OnlyFans than I ever learned from all my degrees. And the marketing and like putting yourself out there, I think it's way harder than people think it is, by expressing yourself and being that level of vulnerable with people on the internet. Like, I was like, you have no idea until you give it a try.
Yeah, for sure.
And let's clarify, it was two consenting adults, but it's actually 3, because you got your husband buy-in. I'm assuming he had a say in the matter to a point, right? So that's.
Yeah, totally. He was, people always want to know how he feels, and he's been super supportive from the very beginning. Shit, look at this. Speaking of supportive from the very beginning.
Cocktail.
That's phenomenal.
Oh, he said they didn't have Dr. Pepper, so I got Coke, but I got cherry.
Oh,
okay.
Where's my fucking cherry?
It's fucked up.
Well, now that is amazing service. Cheers.
That's great. That was perfect timing too.
It was.
So when I talked to him about it, and I was like, I'm thinking about joining an OnlyFans, he was like, do it. Like, what's taking so long? Right. Essentially. Yeah.
And at what point did you go change? You said you used a different name before. Then you changed from your old name to your.
As soon as I turned in my keys as a teacher, I changed my name on Instagram back to I'm one of the very few that actually goes by Courtney Tillia is my legal name.
Sure.
For sure.
Do you worry about that at all?
I don't. I have things in place, or like safety things in place. So like I don't post until after I've left somewhere or whatever, and have like protocols in place. But for me, it's been really important to brand my name. Not only just for OnlyFans, but I'm working on TV things too, that like I want people to be able to find me across the board in that way.
Yeah.
So it's been more of a strategy than like I guess a fearful thing.
Yeah. So,
bet on yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you got into OnlyFans in 2019. When did OnlyFans, when was the day that OnlyFans made that ridiculous statement that they were getting out of any porn, and they were, and like 12 days later had to change their mind?
It was 72 hours later after I caught them. Yes.
Oh, and that's the fight. That was where you were in the paper, right?
So it was in 2021 in September, I think August, September, somewhere in there. They released a statement on a Friday afternoon to the New York Post. And I think that they thought that all of us creators were going to be like, oh no, but kind of just like go on with our day.
Yeah.
Right.
And not do anything. And I was all, no, motherfucker. Like I've already been in the New York Post a few times by this point.
Sure.
For being a teacher. And so I blasted my contacts, and I was like, a couple things. If it was true that it was like a financial thing, and as a business owner myself, I would go to my people that I'm supporting who work for me and be like, here's the situation I'm in as the CEO of the company. I'm working on it, but I want you to know the situation that is happening. Yeah. He went straight to the media with this porn ban, which is so generalized. Like, what the hell does that even mean?
Right.
You didn't tell us at all. And so I was like, that's terrible business. Like, you've built an entire platform on our backs, which I'm grateful for, but like, terrible business. So then this article came out where I said essentially those things. And then he fired back at me in the New York Post and was like, I'm trying to protect people like Tillia. And I was like, fuck no. Like, if you were actually trying to protect people like me, you would have done things differently, and you would have actually done things to protect us. Yeah. But now you shot us both in the foot, because now people don't want to buy content because they're like, well, I'm going to lose it. And now you're losing money because people don't want to buy it.
Yeah.
And so then I went back at him in the media and was in like TMZ and People Magazine. And then it was like 24 hours later that he was like, we got funding. So it was a disaster, but it worked out.
I mean, it's the middle of the pandemic, and a lot of women at this point have turned to it as their sole income source. And he's telling people that he's trying to protect them. I mean,
well, that was my thing. I was like, there's so many people who are literally relying on this. You have women, you have mothers. And I was like, people in the porn industry get a bad name. I know so many people who are doing such great things with the money. Who cares what they're doing with money besides the point? But people who are putting their kids in better schools, people who are paying for their parents to have retirement or whatever. And I was like, you don't get to come in here and just fucking take that away from people.
Right. Well, obviously it didn't work out.
It didn't work out, but he must have. There had to have been some. I mean, we talked about it because we had an OnlyFans on during that time.
Oh, I thought we were talking about our OnlyFans.
Well, our fans. We were worried about ours, but we were like, okay, let them shut down. We need to start one up right away, because I mean, it's out there.
Start up a site comparable to OnlyFans.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Like just a platform. Right. You know, someone's gonna do it within no time, because
so many that popped up.
Plus, I'm wondering, did Fansly come from that, or were they around already?
They may have come around right before, or like right around that time that they had popped up. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
The only one that I know of that was like around before then was Patreon.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you've got how many places subscriptions? 3 of them?
I have 3, yeah, because I'm crazy. I have time. It's a full-time job. That's why I'm like, people have no idea. I have a VIP page is what I started with, which is a subscription. And then I have a free page that I started in 2020, because that was like the big thing. Like, everyone had a free page, and I was like, I don't even understand how this works, but I'm going to do it. And then in 2021, I started a store. Because I noticed that with the VIP page that people wanted to buy content, but I had to be on there live to buy things that were sent out through mass messages, right? Because on a wall, it has to be, if it's a paid subscription, you can't put a pay-per-view message on there. if that's making sense. I know it's kind of confusing.
Sure.
Anyway, realized people wanted to buy like more explicit content like my porn, but I had to be on around the clock, which wasn't possible. So I was like, if we have a store that they can essentially shop at around the clock.
Oh yeah.
Which is very similar to the free page, right? But it still makes its own money.
Okay.
That page by itself makes my teacher's salary. So I'm just gonna keep it going.
Keep her going.
And it just sits there and people buy from it throughout the day.
So you put stuff on. Can somebody go there and request custom videos or buy article panties and
sure
socks and things?
I do a lot of messaging on there. Like I don't respond a lot on there, but like if there's something, I do look through them to see if it's worth time.
Yeah, right. It's
being honest.
Well, right, and it's, you said, I mean, it is, and we've talked to enough OnlyFans models now, and ourselves, just being content creators ourselves, we understand it's not just sitting down and taking a picture. That's the easy part of the job.
Yeah.
So you got to go to editing, go to putting them up, go to so we totally get that.
Uploading the content, like uploading videos. I have a second phone just for that side of it because it's so long.
Oh God.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you got to think of what you're going to put on the guidelines, back to like you were saying with Instagram. You can only put so much, so you have to plan out, right? Or what I have to put on this page, on that page.
So you start off with Instagram, right? Because you're fully clothed, and then you take a little bit off for Twitter. Wait, before that, wait, we got to start with TikTok. You got to be fully clothed, and we'll take a little bit off for Instagram, and we'll take a little more off for Twitter, and then we'll take even more off for the free page, and then we'll take it all off for the VIP page.
Okay. It's a great progression.
Yeah, you're creating content for 5 different platforms. Oh my God.
Did we skip YouTube? Shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you got to put everything back on for YouTube.
I know. God damn it. We fucked this up. You know what I started doing though, too, that is genius? I've started doing try on hauls for YouTube. And so I'll film the try on haul, but I will do a live video on my OnlyFans where they get to pay and watch the full thing. So they get to watch me change in and out. So I'm making money while I'm filming the YouTube.
That's fucking genius.
Right?
Yes.
I was like, that's brilliant. So I'm like filming 2 things and making money for the thing that's going to go on YouTube. I was like, brilliant.
That is genius.
That is.
Yeah.
Is this part of your course that you teach?
That is actually something I just picked up, so I'm going to need to add it to the course. Are you talking about the OnlyFans course?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're using your teaching degree on your OnlyFans.
Putting it to work.
Right?
There's 2 parts to it. I didn't update in September, I think it was. It's like 2 hours long, but I got to add that part.
And you give that course away. Do you still give it away free for teachers? And
I do. Yeah, there was a teacher strike just in LA last week, I think it was. And so the course went free again to teachers. Yeah.
Nice.
And honestly, it goes for anybody who works in education. And then I got all these messages because TMZ did an article about it. And so it went viral. And so then I started getting messages from like military, service industry, like everybody who was like, can I
Police.
get it too? Like, and I was like, fuck it, I don't care. Just use the code.
I was going to say, you didn't make it very difficult. I mean,
no, I'm not trying to be like, oh, this is a secret only for education. I was like, if you'll benefit from it, use it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what I love about the and I've said this before, the OnlyFans community is a lot different than the podcast community. Like I feel like the OnlyFans ladies all kind of try and rise each other up. Where podcasts, it feels like we're all in competition, we're all stomping on each other. It is cool when you see how you guys have kind of formed almost like unionized to beat the man kind of a thing.
Yeah. And I've said that because people are like, oh, aren't the women bitches like in modeling? And I was like, I've never experienced that. Like girls are like, if you see something in my suitcase that you want to wear, like do it. If you need makeup for my bag, like it's always been like that.
Yeah.
I have like a handful of experiences and like a couple girls who have like been like not super nice, but like in the years that I've been modeling, like that's such a small number compared to the thousands that have been so helpful and kind.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you seem to do a lot of collaboration with other OnlyFans girls.
I do, and I'm doing more and more.
Plug for your OnlyFans.
Yeah, plug it. All the girl on girl content.
Now, did that start with OnlyFans or maybe back in college?
It actually didn't start in college. You would think, but that religious side of me really was strong in college, even though I went to Arizona State.
Shit.
Yeah, right. So it actually started, a friend of mine was an ICU nurse, and maybe you've had her on the show before. But her article came out in the news, and I was like, you know what'd be dope is if we did a teacher nurse collaboration. And she was like, let's do it. She was in Florida. And so she flew to LA that weekend. And that was my first girl on girl scene, was with this ICU nurse.
Oh,
beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Was it talk about it? Yeah, let's do it.
And are you okay saying her name?
Yeah, I'm sure she'd be Allie Ray. Do you know her?
We're she's going to be coming on in a few weeks. So
yeah. So so her and I did our first collab, and it was her first too. So we were so nervous that we each got wasted. And like both of our husbands had our kids at the time, and so it's like getting late, and her and I are getting like a little, like to the point of drunk where you're like, I don't even know if we're going to be able to do this. And so we finally ended up doing it, and it's great content. And then she was here the rest of the weekend, and we're like, well, we got through the awkward part, like might as well make more content all weekend. So we made a bunch of stuff while she was here.
That's awesome.
Fun. Great. And a friend for life.
Friend for life. Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah.
And look at you now. Now you're having threesomes with other girls and tons and tons
out of control.
Well, you gotta keep it going.
I know, like actual porn stars. Yeah. It's great.
I do want to touch on that. Adrienne Fox.
Yeah.
She's
the last name is correct.
It is. She has been one of my favorite for years.
Yeah, she's so hot and she's so sweet.
Is she? I like to hear that. Yeah. Because I wouldn't want to watch her anymore if she wasn't sweet.
I know.
Oh yeah.
No, she's really, really sweet and kind. Like I would totally collab with her many more times.
Yeah. How'd you hook up with her? I mean, are you trying to get into more of the porn star? Mainstream porn stars, I should say.
Yeah, but I don't think I want to do it for like a company. I would love to work with more mainstream girls, but I don't necessarily want to shoot for Brazzers or something. So how I got into some good friends, my husband plays soccer with Kieran Lee.
Oh, really? Wow, I didn't know he played.
You didn't? That's his like first love.
Okay.
So
I don't go into his personal life beyond watching.
Okay, there was an article that came out this past week that said like he would turn in all of his porn career to play derby soccer.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, my husband, they play soccer together, and so I actually know him more on the soccer side than the porn side. And like our family's gone to his house and played with his kids, and so it started happening where my husband would have a soccer game on Monday nights, and Kieran and I would just sit and talk OnlyFans, and he would give me tips or pointers, and he'd talk about this chick and whatever. And he was like, "Oh, you should really shoot with Adra." And I was like, "Yeah." And so like, he'll just hook me up with his people.
That's perfect.
Best connection to ever have, and truly like the kindest man. Like, will give you the shirt off his back.
He does seem that way, and he is a legend in the porn world.
7,000 women he's slept with, that man. True legend.
Someday he'll catch up to me. I could dream.
I know.
Didn't mean to kill you there.
She's like, no way.
No way. I know. I can dream. Yeah, and I believe she's from, I think she's from Wisconsin.
I don't know that. But
you didn't have time to talk.
No. We did.
Is there anyone on your wish list in the mainstream?
I'd really love to work with Angela White. I feel like she is a legend, but also like her sexual energy and how she's so carefree. And I feel like when she's having sex, like she's worshiping you too. And I'm here for that kind of experience.
Good point. Yeah, that's
right.
a good way to look at it.
Does she not look like she worships everybody she's with?
Yes. I agree.
I love that.
I wouldn't know.
He pretends he's never seen her.
I know.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
This is our resident porn expert here. I just,
you don't watch porn?
I do, but I don't know who they are, or I don't pay. Yeah, no.
You don't type in people's names on there?
No.
We've had this talk. I like names. I like girls I go back to, and he's like category or
just
something.
give me a chick in yoga pants getting boned. I'm good to go.
Oh, is that your search?
I fucking love yoga pants. Fuck yes. Yeah. And there's a lot of yoga pants porn, so I'm fine. I don't need to know anybody's name.
Oh yeah, I'm like, who is that? Search, then I do a little research
So
on them.
And then I'm like, do they have an Instagram? Because I want to collab with them.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how it goes. And then now I just send their name to Kieran, and I'm like, do you have a contact?
Oh yes, I love it.
Well, that's honestly that's
networking.
That's what we do with our podcast too. We're just like with Sarah, we tried to get her to hook us up with the woman that was on Dr. Phil with you, the pastor that went to OnlyFans. We tried to get hooked up with her, but that didn't work out. But like I said, that's
my husband's client.
Oh, is it really? Yeah. No, and it's fine. She wanted pay to be on.
I understand.
And we don't pay guests, but I get it. I mean, we don't make any money, so we can't afford to pay guests.
I respect that. I'm like, the more that to me, it's also practice, because I do a lot of TV. So I'm like, if I can practice answering questions, but also I'm like, it's broadening everything. To me, it's always a win-win. So that's how I view it.
Right. Well,
we appreciate that.
We truly appreciate it, because we're talking to some of the most beautiful women in the world, and we're just two guys sitting in a dining room in Wisconsin,
drinking tequila
and
Dr. Pepper. Cheers to that.
Yeah. Cheers again. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks like
you guys have. Do you have crinkle straws?
Yep. Hell yeah. We're like two children.
We got
I have a straw too.
Yeah.
But you guys don't actually use the straw. It's just for looks.
Mine's a stir stick.
Stir stick.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah, I prefer that, but that's all right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned TV and what do you have on the horizon for TV stuff?
I actually have a personal show that's in the works, where I'm kind of helping people to work through different stigmas with what I experienced. But so much of the world, I mean, I'm sure so many people that you interview or talk to have had to work through some kind of shame or guilt or judgment or family perspectives. And so me really helping people to kind of work through those different things.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, you said you kind of grew up religious. How is your family with what you do?
So my family, so like my mom and dad were out of my life before OnlyFans was even a thing.
Okay.
And so I was like, let me make that clear, because people are like, oh, it was the OnlyFans, and I'm like,
Sure.
oh, no. Before, like, I was even a school teacher, like that kind of ended and fizzled out.
Okay.
But my extended family, aunts, uncles, grandparents, like super supportive in anything that's like makes me happy.
Yeah.
They're like, we just want you to be happy. If you're happy, like, that's amazing. So one of my aunts, my grandma just recently passed away, and so we were at the memorial, and my aunt was like, honestly, Courtney, I just didn't know you could make that much money doing it. I thought it was just all free. And I was like, honestly, so did I, but here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. Yes.
Hey, you want to sign up for my course?
Right? Exactly. So good.
It is. And personal appearances. So I saw you're going to be at Sapphires.
I am going to be at Sapphire. And
now
I've got what's that?
Well, I want to hear about it.
Okay.
But confirm that it's for your birthday on April 28th.
My birthday is the 29th. But I will be hosting.
That's my birthday.
What? April 29th?
Yes.
5. Look at us Tauruses.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah. Yes.
She's a lot younger than you. I just want to throw that in there. A lot younger.
Shut up and let her talk.
They asked me, and they're like, can you host on the 28th? And my good friend is hosting on the 29th. And I was like, let me see if that's like really what I want to do for my birthday. And I was like, honestly, to get paid and to be like given the royal experience for my birthday. That sounds pretty dope. And I was like, okay, I'm down. So yeah, I hosted one time last year and it was such a great time. Have you guys been to Sapphire?
No.
In Vegas?
No.
In Vegas?
No.
It's a topless pool party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's in Vegas?
It's in Vegas.
Okay. I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah. So it's a great time. And I don't usually do much appearances. And so people were excited that I had finally told people where I was going to be and what time. And so people had flown in from all over the place to be there. So it was pretty cool.
So what does it, you hear about that all the time, we're in Vegas and they're hosting. So what do you do? I mean, are you on the mic? Are you DJing? What do you?
None of that. You're just kind of like, you're like Minnie Mouse, right? Like at Disneyland, you're just like there to like look cute and take photos and like you kind of bring your energy. People get all excited and
right. People come to see you. I mean, yeah. If people are flying in because of us,
That's
crazy.
You just mingle. Yeah. You're paid to mingle.
Paid to mingle. Yeah. There were people from the UK last time. I'm really big in the UK because the Daily Star does articles on me like all the time. And so there's these people, this like group from the UK, and they're like, "You're that teacher! You're the teacher!"
Shout out to the Daily Star, by the way, because Sarah Jarree's been in there wearing our tank top, so our logo's made its way to the Daily Star. So
we love the Daily Star. I love them so much. They're always like, "Do you have anything?" And I was like, "I'll come up with something for you." Whatever you want to talk about, they'll ask me the like most outrageous questions, and I'm like, absolutely.
Do you see a nice spike in subscribers and stuff every time you put an article out there? Because I noticed that just like with Sarah on our podcast, every time she shows up in the Daily Star, her episode on our podcast will a few hundred people all of a sudden watch it again. Like,
yeah, it's amazing because like the Scottish Sun did one on me recently about how I used to get dress coded all the time as a teacher. I'm like for wearing jeans on Friday, like all the other teachers, but it was like I'm too curvy. So I'd get dress coded, and they did an article, and the Scottish Sun isn't like a big outlet, but it went viral on their side. So the Sun picked it up, which is a big outlet. And then the Daily Star was like, well, we like this shit too. And so they picked it up, and it was trending #1 like all weekend in the UK. So yeah, it's always a win.
So you're saying you got dress coded at school because your ass is too nice in jeans?
Correct.
All right.
And it was so ridiculous because other teachers would wear like the exact same style, and you have to wear a polo with it. So it wasn't like it was like super sexy with jeans. Like I'm wearing a polo. Yeah. They're like, "Can you wear those jeans again?" And I was like, 1, you don't pay me enough to buy something else. And 2, like my butt is always, whatever jeans I wear, my butt is going to look nice in them. Yeah. So it's just the problem we're all going to have to face.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't like it, stop looking. God damn it.
Stop looking.
Right?
Yeah.
For real.
Was it a male or a female telling you to do that? Because if it was a male, he was hating having to tell you that.
So, there's one female administrator, and that the male administration was like, "We can't do this. We can't." And so they went to the one female administration who was in charge of the finances. So she'd never talked to any of us, but never had any relation with me whatsoever, except for these dress coding. And as soon as she would come to my classroom, I'm like, here it is. Because I know you're not here to talk to me about anything else.
Oh.
So she would come and pull you out of class to tell you did they send you home to change? No. They just wrote it down.
She just said no.
And it's so funny. My kids the other day, they were talking about getting dress coded, and I guess a girl in my son's class had worn some inappropriate pants that said a cuss word on them. And he was like, the teacher just laughed about it. And I was like, that's great. Whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like asking about dress coding. And I was like, I used to get dress coded as a teacher, and you could see the wheels were turning because he was like, I thought this was something that only happened to kids,
right?
School, not the teachers at school.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought, no.
Right. I can't. I mean, I never had a teacher hot enough to worry about that. So
kind of wish I went to her school.
Yeah. Well,
I wouldn't believe how many of those DMs I get. I wish you were my teacher.
I bet.
Yeah.
Do you see any of your fellow teachers that you worked with subscribing to your OnlyFans now? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
My thing is that, and I was like, listen, I have no problem. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
You used to work in my classroom, whatever, subscribe, buy the content. You don't have to put your real name as your username.
Right?
You don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a rookie mistake right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Where's it hard to find out?
You must have wanted me to know.
Right.
And I was gonna ask that. Maybe they wanted you to know.
That's the benefit of having a podcast. That's an LLC. We can just put in the podcast name and then we're good to go. It's all for research. It's all for research. Nothing personal.
We got to research, and some I research more than others.
Yes, exactly. So,
sapphires. So that is,
okay. Yeah.
You hooked up with more, or you don't like doing that, or you'd like to continue?
I love doing them. I love them. So I think people obviously see me on Sapphire's page and were like, oh, so I have a podcast in Dallas, but it has a live audience.
Nice.
And so that's kind of similar because people get to kind of come and see me.
Right.
And then I got asked to do one in Pennsylvania.
Interesting.
And I was like, that was not someplace I saw myself going, but.
Well, if you ever want to come to Wisconsin, we'd be glad to have you in studio.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're ever here.
At the dining table?
Yeah. Right at the dining table. We'll bring the cheese curds.
Oh my gosh, I've never had a cheese curd.
They're delicious.
They
are delicious.
You can't beat them.
So you're obviously big into working out, and I saw a picture of you pumping with Arnold Schwarzenegger. How does that come about?
And does he subscribe?
Of course he does. He's smart enough to use a different name.
Yeah.
He became a friend of mine. So I asked him, I saw him like on my birthday a few years ago at the gym, and I was like, oh my God, like it's Arnold. So I went up to him and I was like, can I get a photo? And he's like, just do it now. And I was like, this guy's an asshole. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, I'm a pretty girl. Like, you can be nice. And so he was rude. And so then I was like, I'm not talking to this guy again. So I'm at the gym again. And I was like, whatever, I'm just going to be like cool over here by myself. And he came up to me and he's like, you're looking really good today. And started giving me like training techniques. And I was like, okay, maybe it's going to be nice. Maybe just was a rough day. We all have bad days.
Yeah, right.
And ever since then, he'll like always come up to me and chat and tell me about things, ask about the family. And then one day he was like, can I get your email address? And I was like, okay. But he doesn't have a phone. He only has an iPad. And so he'll FaceTime. He'll FaceTime on my birthday. He'll FaceTime for Mother's Day. He'll FaceTime for my kid's birthday. He's like a little uncle to my family. He'll FaceTime on Father's Day to tell my husband Happy Father's Day. Like, he's a really sweet guy. And yeah, there was somebody messaged me and they're like, I saw you in the news with Arnold. And I was like, oh, it's the TikTok, like him and I've made TikToks together.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, they probably just picked up one of those and ran it in the media, whatever. And I saw it was like all these photos of him kissing me on the cheek. And it said like Arnold's mystery woman at the gym. And it's him and I at the gym. But he's an older man. Like, that's a very typical greeting. Somebody from, where's he from? Austria.
Yeah.
Like, hug, kiss on the cheek is a very normal thing. But they ran it as like I'm his mystery woman. So
could be worse.
He's very sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, that is.
When you hang up the phone call, does he say, I'll be back?
No, he'll be like, love you.
Even better.
Even better. But he does say I'll be back. He does actually use that line in his everyday verbiage. And so yeah.
Probably not quite so dramatic though.
So sometimes he's a character. Like he's just a character of a personality. And so like, and he'll talk about like his favorite drinks, or I don't know, or he'll tell me like I make up words. What did I say? He said to come over and like bring my kids over to feed his donkey. He's got this like pet donkey.
I've seen that, yes.
And so I was like, whatever, like you said, we were gonna come to your house and then you ghosted. And he's like, what is that? Like he had never heard the term ghosted before.
Yeah. Well, he's an older dude. I mean,
yeah.
Everybody's saying something about like that's cap or something when you're lying. I'm like, what the these kids are just making up shit. I don't know what's going on.
That one.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't know.
I'm telling you, eventually it's going to happen to all of us. Somebody's going to say something, you're going to be like, what?
Oh, I do that all the time.
So, well, you tell Arnold the next time you talk to him that we'd be happy to have on. I mean,
okay, I will let him know.
Yeah. Tell his people to call our people.
Deal.
Still kind of it's kind of a neat story that it just kind of out of the blue and it morphed into that. So that's nice.
Yeah, it's very organic. I mean, at the gym, but yeah.
And you've also done some singing with Steven Tyler on stage.
Yeah, that was really fun. They asked us to come to Vegas because he wants hot girls on stage. I mean, who doesn't?
Yep, right.
And so we get there and I was like, as we're prepping to walk on stage, they were like, oh, so just so you know that everybody that you're going to be standing in front of paid $3,000 to be right there and you're going to stand in front of them. And I'm very non-confrontational. I'm like, oh, like, I don't like that. Like, anyway, I was like, I'll just make friends with the people I'm in front of. So I did that. And anyway, he came up and we had we sang 2 songs actually together.
Wow.
Dude Looks Like a Lady, and I don't even remember the other one.
Wow.
That's how special it was.
Are you an Aerosmith fan, or is this?
You know, I used to play the flute in middle school, and so I played Dude Looks Like a Lady. So like, and grew up with some of the songs. So a fan, yes, but I wouldn't say I'm like some like crazy devoted fan. But
sure.
Yeah.
So did you know the words?
I knew the words to Dude Looks Like a Lady. I did not know the words to the first part. And he would, somewhere there's like video of it too, where he would sing the words and then put the microphone in front of my face for this sold out show. And I'm like, this is embarrassing. Sorry.
No, I agree. I'd be like, I think you'd freeze too. Even if you did know the words, sometimes you'd freeze.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, and he wanted to touch tongues together. I forgot that part. I think I tried to block it with my memory.
And did you?
No.
So he was facing you, sticking his tongue out, and you're like,
he was doing
no, thank you.
And at me, and did it twice. And my friend was next to me, and she was like, "Dude," and I was like, "No, that tongue's been a lot of places." Turns out that was the last show. The rest of the tour was canceled because he was sick the following day and on.
Oh,
probably from licking somebody's tongue.
I know, and I was like, well, "See, I knew it wasn't a good idea."
So how it? I'm not here to knock on him, but is he good looking in person? Because it seems to be he's on a lot of the married women's lists of.
I think it's no.
Don't want to be mean. Okay, I apologize. We should talk.
He's 78 years old.
Yeah.
He's killing it for 78.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, sold out shows, clearly still at the top of many people's lists. One of the girls who was probably around my age grabbed his crotch while he was on stage. And so I think, he's got that rocker vibe that people want. So I respect that.
Vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. To be quite honest, when I shake my head, no, if I look like that at 78, I'll be more than happy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's killing it. I would have been exhausted at my age putting on the show that he's on because he's all over the place running around singing.
Yeah.
And I was like, props to you.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Personally, just not my type.
He didn't have a bow tie.
He didn't have that bow tie. Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't working. Or the suspenders. Yeah.
I get it. So you got a lot of channels, a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
How do we hit them all? TikTok is big. Are you big on that?
Yeah. I have like 470,000 on there.
Okay. Yeah, we have to apologize because we don't use TikTok. I mean, we have a TikTok account.
Right.
And we don't use it.
We paid somebody to do videos for us for a while and they weren't doing anything for us. So we we rarely touch TikTok, but
TikTok honestly is where it's at. If you want to grow your platform, that's why I always tell people TikTok.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to go viral on there. And those people convert to money. Like when besides the media, TikTok is where my OnlyFans, what grows my OnlyFans. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have found now we've slowly progressed, obviously, and now we're starting to we'll create a reel for Instagram like every day of the week, pull some clips out of the episode, put out some reels, turn them over to YouTube Shorts. And then I have taken some of those, and because they're already done, just put them on TikTok. But it's another step in the process. And we spend so much time on this thing, and we've made $0. And so it's like, how much effort do you want us?
But soon we'll quit.
What's that?
Soon we'll quit
the podcast,
our regular job.
Oh, our regular job. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Because we're gonna take her course. We're gonna use the code teacher. Yeah. And we're gonna start our own family OnlyFans.
Okay. Is there any market for dudes in OnlyFans?
There's a new CEO of OnlyFans, and they are really not allowing dudes on there unless you're actually creating content. Like, what I'm saying is, like, I know a lot of guys who are photographers, and they're like, I want to upload other chicks' photos, and they've really nixed that. Oh. If you're an actual, like, a dude creating content, like, yeah, there's totally a market.
Yeah. We want to try and, because we talk to so many ladies on OnlyFans, and all of our female acquaintances and friends yell at us because we never have any hot guys on for them. So we have thought we want to find some of the top OnlyFans males and try to get a few of them on just to talk about that. So be interesting conversation to see how it is for them.
Or porn legends.
Porn legends. Yeah.
There we go.
For sure.
Like he's got an OnlyFans, so I'm sure he does all right without promoting it.
Yeah.
I follow him. I'll reach out to him.
Okay, good. You do that. So you and your husband were doing a podcast for a while back, like three years ago. Do you have any plans of doing your own podcast again?
We had our own TV show that we made that was on YouTube, where we'd film our daily lives, and we'd upload an episode every day.
Oh,
but that's before my life blew up. And then we restarted our podcast maybe 3 months ago. And honestly, though, it takes so much work.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we've talked about it again. I have episodes on my computer that aren't uploaded yet, but yeah.
Okay.
When you have time, you'll do it.
I need another assistant.
Do you have a team?
I have one person on my team.
Okay.
And my husband too. So essentially, he helps me with things. It's a team. It's a team.
Yeah.
Well, he helps you with content.
He helps me with content. Yeah.
So who does all your your editing and stuff? Does he do your editing, or you do your editing?
All of it.
Yeah, it is. That's a nightmare. And obviously, you're pumping out a lot more content than we are.
You're doing a lot, so I'll give you a lot of credit. That's for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot, but again, I'd be like, I'd rather do this than teach.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's an interesting question. We'll let you go, but I want to. If money were equal, and you could only do one, would you teach or would you do OnlyFans? I mean, would you do the adult content?
I would do an adult content.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved the kids, and there was a lot of perks to it, but this is so much more of who I am, and personality, expression, meeting people, all of it.
So this is who you are, regardless of OnlyFans. Wow. This is who you are.
Yeah.
So you're just
in the Dr. Phil episode, he was like, "Would if you inherited $10 million, would you whatever?" And I was like, my friend was like, $10 million in LA ain't gonna get you shit. Didn't take it very far. And two, I love doing what I'm doing. $10 million is great, and I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Why do I have to do both? I'll take the 10 mil and keep working. That's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, I can tell you this from us talking to you and the way you smile and talk about your profession. Yeah. It shows that you enjoy it, and you're going to keep growing and nothing but getting bigger. So
thank you.
Yeah, we can't appreciate you coming on enough.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Tell them where to find you.
We want to give you time to promote.
I'm Courtney Tillia on everything.
And how do you spell the last name? Because it's
Tillia.
there you go. Okay. And we'll put everything down in the description for them to find you. But so
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
You guys, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you bet. All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously, though, get your asses out of here.